Notts
Notts
County
County.
Oh,
I'll go for this one. I can't quite
come on,
believe.
lad.
I can't quite believe that. Well, I can believe we're saying this. It's a Euro semi-final match preview.
Yeah. It's the 6th semi-final in England's history, 2 of which being under Gareth Southgate. And my feelings towards him after the Scotland game, it's crazy how much that can change in a couple of weeks. Very excited for this one. I actually can't wait till Wednesday now. I'm counting down the minutes, literally.
Yeah, I mean, if you're one of these, there'll be very few people that were saying that Southgate was the right man after the way we played against Scotland and for large parts against Croatia. Yes, we beat Croatia, but we weren't fantastic. There was very few people actually saying that he was the right man for the job. But his record speaks for itself. Like you say, 2 semi-finals. I mean, the most unbelievable thing for me is we've played Germany and Croatia, good teams. We've played Czech Republic, who aren't bad, and they've got Patrick Schick, who joint top scorer at the tournament, and England haven't yet conceded a goal. So for me, that is mightily impressive. It's question and answer today. So any questions you have, any at all, put them in the chat and we will try and answer them. We just sort of today want to get your take on England, how they've been doing, how you think they've been doing, who should start. Let us know anything you think about the Euros so far, because it's been an incredible tournament, both for England and in general. Even if it's not about England, who have you enjoyed watching the most? Who's been your favourite player? You know, we're going to try and answer them all. Before we get the questions in then, George, the Ukraine game.
Yeah. Richard said it, didn't he, in the first preview we did, that England are going to grow into the tournament, and how true that is. I seen someone put online, if we continue at the rate we're going, we should win 8-0 on Wednesday, because we won 1-0, then we won 2-0, and we won 4-0. Obviously not going to happen, but you love to see the goals going in, don't you? You know, I don't think many people would have predicted us to score 4 goals. Yeah, just generally quite happy. It's good to see Kane get a couple. The noise off Harry Maguire's head when he scored his header was unbelievable. Absolute thud of a header. And yeah, just a good performance. And I think it was after the 3rd goal, you know, Southgate sort of thinking, I need to get these players off that are on yellows here to save them for the semi-final. So I think it was pretty perfect, wasn't it? Really, the performance.
Yeah, it's Steve. I forget his name. It always goes. People's names always go, and I need them. But Southgate's assistant. Have you seen the video when the 3rd goal goes in?
Yeah,
literally, he doesn't even celebrate. He says, "Get them on a yellow off." Literally says, "Get them off." If you just join us, send any questions in about the Euros. We'll try and answer as many as we can. Give our thoughts. Find out what you think. But yeah, he says, just get the men on the yellow off. It makes sense, and I think Southgate played it perfectly. I think that he would have said, I know this is a thing that managers say, I think he would have definitely said, go and get an early goal, 100%. Because once we got an early goal, we seemed to know exactly what to do. It's like he knew England were going to score early. He seemed to know exactly that England were then going to control the possession for 10, 15, 20 minutes. And then second half, I feel like he said, if you get another early, the game is done. I mean, if you look at it and sort of go on averages of how difficult games have been, England have probably played the equivalent of a game less than every other team in this tournament. Maybe even a game and a half for teams like Spain, who, if I'm not wrong, Spain have had a couple of extra times, have they not?
Yeah.
A game and a half less. And this tournament, more than ever, you can tell that players are tired, can't you?
Yeah, you can. It's been one of those seasons, hasn't it? Probably never see a season like it again. I know as Notts County fans will know, especially in the National League, how packed it's been all season, going Saturday, Tuesday. But you know, these players are playing sort of in Europe, flying out to all these different countries all the time. So it's tiring. And you've said it before, Tom. I think it was Rashford. He's played something like a game every 4 days, hasn't he, this year or something like that? It's a crazy statistic. That is crazy. So yeah, I think when it comes to tiredness, though, I think England probably the least tired. I know Colin was saying in the preview we did for the Ukraine game that they're averaging 10 kilometers more ran like for the squad per game. And I think it showed. They look really leggy. I thought, not that much after half time. So yeah, maybe that is something that could go in our favour. We'll have to see, I think.
Yeah, I definitely think there was. I mean, even the ref was leggy. Didn't even add any time on at the end. I mean,
yeah, that
90 minutes, blow the whistle straight away. But I just think the longer this tournament goes on, look, England have played Germany, and you saw how tired the players were against Germany. And what was that? That was that was Tuesday. They've then gone and played a game again Saturday, and then they're playing again on Wednesday. And it's not like league players going into league games where you might play a decent side and then you might play one of the lesser sides and you can take it a bit easier. I know this happened in this case with Ukraine, but you're playing in the Euros where players will fight. So it definitely wasn't. It's definitely going in England's favour. I think 100%.
Yeah, it's unforgiving. The only thing, like I say as well, for England, even if it was a case of we had tired legs going into this game, the depth we have in the squad is, I think, unparalleled, really, for the teams that are left in the tournament.
Yeah, it is. Southgate always says that about the attackers as well. There's just there's no possible way you can keep everyone happy. You're leaving out players that would play for. You're leaving out players that get left on the bench without being. Well, it's not derogatory, but they'll play for Denmark. They will play for Denmark. So, I mean, that's the level of depth we've got. And you look a few tournaments ago. I look back. It might have even been the 2010 World Cup, playing with Matthew Upson at centre back and players like that. And it's just Heskey, and it's what we've got now. It's a new generation. I saw Steve McLaren. I don't really listen to what Steve McLaren says too often because he says a lot of absolutely dreadful opinions. But he actually said if England win a tournament, this will be the start for this generation. And I believe it. We saw it with Spain when they won that tournament and then went on to win more. So for me, it's going to be interesting to see how we cope with this now.
Yeah, agreed. I think as well, one thing you've got to consider with the team we have as well, we've got a lot of players that play in European football and they played it on the main stage in the finals. There's about 4 or 5 players I'm thinking that were at a European final that are in the starting lineup. So they're players that, can live up to pressure, can play under pressure. And I do feel like that's something that England fans not fans, it's just like as a nation, we sort of pile pressure on, don't we? It's like, as much as this is a must win and we're going into this game with the mentality, well, I am anyway, that we're going to win this game, like we have to win. Like, it's no disrespect, and I don't want to be derogatory, sorry, but it is Denmark. So
yeah, they have good players though.
They do, but none of them are really, standout players for me. Well, I suppose you could say Schmeichel's pretty standout.
Class.
Yeah, very good, especially for Denmark as well. He's very standout. But other than that, I don't think they have an outfield player that's really going to run the show for them. But in saying that, everything that's gone on with Eriksen, I feel like that is something that gives them a little bit more fight, doesn't it? Because they want to do well, and they want to sort of bit of a legacy for Eriksen, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean they're riding a wave of emotion at the minute with that, and I've seen it before. There's only so far that can take you. There is before you're drained of it, before it does become tiring to play like that. And it's interesting you say about players that are going to run the game. One player I'm very nervous about coming up against is their wing back. He's at Melee. They got the assist for the second goal against Czech Republic with the outside of the foot. I think that was ridiculous. He played last time I knew he was playing at Genk, and too good for that league. Like he's a phenomenal player. I also Højbjerg, he's good. Højbjerg's good. Ever since he's got his move to Spurs as well, he's been fantastic. But one player I can't work out, and I was going to tweet this the other day, but I forgot to. And if I want to know people's opinions that are watching, is Braithwaite a good player? I can't work it out. The guy's played for Barcelona, but he's also played for Middlesbrough in the Championship. Is he a good player? Because when he gets the ball, he seems all right.
Yeah, I think that's just what he is. I think he's just all right, isn't he? I think when
Yeah.
Barcelona signed him, wasn't it like the backs were against the wall? It was pure desperation.
It was, but he's literally he's the kind of striker that England will concede a goal against.
Yeah, yeah.
He literally is like.
I do think though, do you know a player of that caliber? No disrespect to him. If Barcelona sign you, I think your game does switch up a little bit, especially if you're training with Messi and players of a higher standard. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, if you look at league games, right? League games for Braithwaite, for Barcelona, 40 games, 3 goals. Now, if me and you started up top for Barca, they would provide us with at least 3 goals.
I reckon if I started centre back, I'd get more goals than that.
Yeah, the Barcelona, they're not what they used to be. They create so much. I mean, he's played Middlesbrough, 36 games. Bearing in mind, most of these were championship games. Probably all of them were championship games. 36, 8 goals. And now he's playing at Barcelona. It defies logic.
Yeah, it's strange.
It does. But then when he plays for Toulouse, 2 seasons of double figures. I just see. I worry that he's the kind of striker that England will concede against.
Yeah. I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean.
In terms of the lineup, then 3-4-3 against Germany. We said you can't really change that because it's so good. It was so good.
Yeah.
And he's completely changed it, and he's had the guts to put Sancho in. Now do you change it again? This is what we've got to think. Before we go on to our team, we've got to think this, haven't we?
Yeah, so I think Saka picked up a bit of an injury, didn't he? That's why Sancho's come in, and he wanted a right-footed player playing on that side. But can you change it? I don't really know. I think Sancho played well. Don't get me wrong, he played really well. He did a couple of tricky things. If you were to go over it with a Nick home and look at his performance, he probably did about 4 or 5 good parts to the game, I thought.
Yeah.
But I think if you put a Saka in there, if he's eligible to play, I think he offers a bit more.
Yeah, I mean, Sancho, there's a good point. I was listening when I was driving to watch the game. My family on Radio 5 Live, they were arguing Sancho, if a team's going to sit in and defend, you don't want Sancho playing. You saw the best thing he did was when he was actually running out of England's box and he jigged through those few players. If you want a player that in a compact situation, it's Jack Grealish, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
It is Jack Grealish. So that's the only thing. How are Denmark going to play? How are they going to play? Because they are a team that will press. They are a team that will press, and they win the ball high up the pitch. Whereas England are the complete opposite. England have won the ball high up the pitch twice all tournament. That's it. And Denmark is something like 11 or 12. I don't really know. A team that's going to press are going to leave more gaps for a player like Sancho. But this is why Southgate's got every single game spot on, hasn't he? So you've got to believe.
Pretty much.
And what's your take on changing up formations so often?
I don't know. I think it can be disruptive. Players can maybe get a little bit confused. I know these are players playing at an elite level, but I do think whatever level you play at, if your system's forever changing, it can be hard to sort of stay disciplined to the formation and the role you're supposed to be playing in that. So yes and no. Like I think for the amount of games that we play, obviously if you're changing it drastically, like really drastically, then yeah. But I don't think 3-4-3 and 4-2-3-1 is drastically that different, is it really?
No, I do get what you're saying. It's just it's really hard to judge what is the right thing to do. I think it is.
Yeah, I think. I mean, look, you're looking at the defensive players in the middle, so Rice and Calvin Phillips. I think Calvin Phillips offers a little bit more going forward than Rice obviously does, and I think he likes that because I watched a little video a few days ago, him and Ian Wright, and he's talking about when he was younger, he used to be like a box-to-box midfielder, get a few goals, and it's only Bielsa that made him like a defensive mid. And he said he was a little bit gutted by that because he liked getting involved, scoring goals. And it's interesting to see that for England, I think he's been given a little bit more freedom to go forward, and that shows in his game. And another thing he was saying as well is he likes going into crunching tackles, and I think we saw that against Havertz, didn't we, in the Germany game?
Well, he got the assist, didn't he, against Croatia? Just from getting forward, skip past the man, got the assist. The only thing is, you then look at this, there's so many questions to be asked, and this is why it's so interesting that Southgate's got everything spot on. The other thing to say is, Jordan Henderson is, whether you rate him or not, the guy's won Champions Leagues.
Yeah.
Right? Or a Champions League. He's won the Premier League. Right? He knows how to do it. And I remember in the Champions League final against Spurs, he was like, that Liverpool side were good. Right? He knows how to win. He's come on and scored a goal, and he's played well. Do you drop Rice or Phillips? Because Rice and Phillips have been fantastic.
Yeah, you can't. For me, you can't. Rice and Phillips have been amazing, and you can see it as well. They've just got better as the tournament's gone on. They're sort of understanding each other a little bit more. They know sort of as the game's gone on where each other are going to be at certain times in the game. I think they've been impeccable, really.
Yeah, they have. Right, let's go on to our lineup then. So I'll start with the defence. We've gone 4-2-3-1 again. Got Pickford in goal, Walker right back. A bit of a sloppy pass early on, and he's not been as good as I would have expected, but we're not changing the back four. Maguire, great header. Stones, solid, and Shaw. Don't get me started on Shaw, because we'll be here all night.
Roberto Carlos.
Yeah, what a player. He's completely turned it around from where he was at a few years ago. And I read some in 3 minutes against Ukraine. Luke Shaw has more assists at European Championships than Zidane. So, what does that tell you? For me, reading between the lines, it tells me he's better player than Zidane.
Yeah,
stats do not lie.
No, they don't. You're right. Spot on.
They don't lie. Midfield then, we've gone Rice and Phillips, haven't we?
Yeah, I think you have to. We sort of discussed it briefly there. They've been so good together, so good. Can't change it for me.
No, definitely not. And then the three behind, Harry Kane.
We've changed it a little bit, haven't we?
Yeah.
Like you said, Denmark play the high press, but they're also a very physical side, aren't they, Denmark? So this, for me, we've said it pretty much every preview, I think, is a game for Grealish. He's gonna get us some set pieces, and you've seen against Ukraine how well we can do from set pieces. So I just feel like if we can get Grealish on the pitch to get us a few free kicks, why not? Because you can see how much it works for England. Get Harry Maguire's head on the end of it.
Yeah, I feel like we'd have the beating of him in the air. I do.
Yeah.
Grealish, for me, there's going to be more gaps in this game. And I know we've just said gaps will suit Sancho. But you just think Grealish, he has to start for me. He has to start. Because you'll see in my score prediction in a second. I'll talk about why I think Grealish has to start in a second. But yeah, him alongside Mount, it opens up so many gaps for the likes of Sterling, and it opens up more opportunities. We've now got Harry Kane that's scoring freely. If we have Grealish and Mount on, with even Shaw at fullback, we've got so many creative options. Just give the ball to Kane now. You saw with that volley. I haven't even talked about the volley. That would have been up there with goal of the tournament.
Yeah,
definitely would.
I think the thing is as well, you can't count him out for Golden Boot. Kane, he's got 3. He's going to be hungry to get that Golden Boot, I think.
Yeah, he is. He is.
And as well, you cannot go on without talking about Sterling's through ball in the 3rd minute to Kane. What a pass that was.
Well, I think Jermaine Genius called it a half chance. Absolutely ridiculous comment. Half chance. It was put on a plate for Kane. Also, Genius talked about the fantastic link up between Walker and Sancho at City. They've been together, I think I read they've been together 6 weeks. I mean, if any producers are watching, we're available.
We are available.
100%. We know there was no link between Sancho and Walker.
Yeah.
We know that wasn't a half chance for Kane. So just go back and look at our record of predicting scores.
Yeah, it's
a year and a half for doing
really.
it. Haven't got
Probably
one. Haven't got
Probably
one
got
right
one
yet.
right between us.
No, I haven't got any. We'll go on to the score prediction then.
I think we keep the clean sheet. I do. I really do. I think Stones is going to finally get a goal from a corner, and Kane is going to get another goal to bump him up, and hopefully getting the golden boot in the end.
And so by this, who are England playing in the final for you?
I think it's difficult. I think a lot of people are just assuming it's going to be Italy. I don't think that game's going to be straightforward by any stretch of the imagination. A few of those Spanish players have been there and done it. You know what I mean?
Not many though.
Not many, but there's players in there. There's leaders, so I don't think it's going to be easy, and I don't think it's easy for anyone at this point in the competition. I think everyone's looking at England thinking we've got an easy bye to the final, but I don't think we have. I really don't. I mean, we've probably been a little bit derogatory towards Denmark, but it's really not going to be an easy game. My scoreline might suggest it, but I don't think it will be. I think they're going to make it difficult for us. We're going to have to sort of break them down slowly with possession play. I just can't wait. I absolutely can't wait. I'm just feeding off the energy of the England fans.
I don't think your scoreline suggests it's easy at all. If you look at the Germany game was far from easy. They probably had the better chances if it was 2-0. So I think you go above a 2-goal margin and you're saying it's an easy game. I was actually looking last night on the UEFA ticket portal. There were still tickets available for Spain and Italy tomorrow night.
All right.
£500 for the tickets.
Yeah.
I tell you what, if they were more reasonable, I would have gone. I would have definitely gone.
Yeah, when we scored our third, I was in a bar in town with my girlfriend. I was actually going to try and buy a ticket for the semi-final, but then it wouldn't load, and like you just said, it's £500, and I think it's a bit of a stretch, isn't it? I think
yes, it's a bit more.
If you're gonna pay that much for a ticket, I mean, I know it's probably double. Well, it is double. I think it was like 1,100 last time I checked for the final. I'm not going to get ahead of myself, but if I was to ever spend that much money on a ticket, it'd be for a final.
Yeah, and you'd have to be. So you've gone 2-0. I believe runs come to an end, but only clean sheet runs. I think it'll be. I can't see them keeping another clean sheet. I've just talked about the danger man, the electric, the fierce Braithwaite. I think he'll channel his Middlesbrough form and he'll get them ahead early. And I think it'll be about how we react. The only thing really we haven't dealt with in this tournament is going behind.
Mm-hmm.
Other than going down to 10 men, we haven't really dealt with conceding or going behind. But I think we'll go behind in this. I think Braithwaite will score. And I think from then on, England will step up. I mean, we beat Ukraine 4-0. We weren't out of second gear all night. Yeah. I think if England will know this is an opportunity, and I genuinely think once Denmark take the lead, England will turn it on and will dominate the game. I think Kane and I think Mount scores. I think for Mount to come in after not playing for so long, he was really good. I do like Mason Mount. I've liked him for a while, even when people were getting on his back. He's just a good footballer and he just works hard. And Harry Kane, like you said, he's going to have eyes on a golden boot. As much as strikers say they're not selfish players, they want to win everything they can. So for me, it's England 2, Denmark 1, and in the final, I agree with you. I think it'll be Spain in the final. I do. I think Italy, they've lost Spinazzola, and he's been our version. He's been their version of Luke Shaw, and if we're being honest, just as good. He's been class. So I would think Spain, if England are to get through, like I said, I think we'll play Spain.
Yeah, I can really see that happening. I think Italy have been good, don't get me wrong, some really good performances, but I can't help but think if Lukaku was an inch further back a couple of times, they could have got a walloping against Belgium the other night, I think.
Yeah, and you look at both of those teams, and I know England is still got to play Denmark, and we're not getting ahead. You look at both of those teams. Spain almost knocked out by Switzerland, 10-man Switzerland. Italy taken all the way by Austria. They've been got, and England can't be
exactly. It's there for the taking, I think, for England now. Like if we're not going to do it now with the team we have, and even the young players have got so much. They've just. I feel like they've played on the highest of high stages. You talk about Mount there, he's just won a Champions League. Foden's just been in the Champions League final. You go through the team, there's just players that have been there and they can deal with the pressure. So I just feel like as much as the pressure's on to get to the final, they can deal with it.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. Obviously, it's Wednesday night at 8 p.m. We will find out who the other finalists will be tomorrow. We've both gone Spain. Tomorrow is going to be a fantastic one. I'd love England to have been first, got through, and then got to see who played. But there'll be nerves. Even watching tomorrow's game, there'll be nerves. So thank you for everyone that has joined us tonight. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you again, hopefully, for a match preview for the final.